Today on Public Eye News, the 2024 election has been set, the first rematch of former presidents since 1912 between Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Later, Austin Graham will have your preview of a chilly weekend in your weather forecast, and Luke Niddle will have your sports breakdown. I'm Melissa Santour.
And I'm Bradley Seaborg, and this is Public Eye News. The candidates for the 2024 presidential election have been set, with Donald Trump and President Joe Biden both winning decisive victories in the primaries. Despite not even halfway through the presidential primary election calendar, both candidates have secured the delegate majority needed to claim their party's nominations. The November election will mark the first time the two former presidents will face off in the general election since 1912, when Woodrow Wilson defeated incumbent William Howard Taft. Also running for president are independents Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Jill Stein. With 8 months left until the election on November 4th, both main candidates face controversies, with Trump's 91 felony charges across 4 criminal cases, and Biden, whose mental and physical ability to lead the nation has been heavily criticized, alongside his diplomatic handling of the crisis in Gaza. Here in Michigan, you can register to vote online up to 15 days before the election, and within 14 days, you can register at your local clerk's office with proof of documentation. And following closing arguments from both legal teams, jury deliberation began in the case against James Crumbley, the father of Ethan Crumbley, who killed 4 in a school shooting in Oxford Township on November 30th, 2021. James is being charged with gross negligence for failing to secure the 9mm Sig Sauer that Ethan used in the shooting. The firearm in question was purchased by James 4 days before the shooting occurred. James's wife, Jennifer Crumbley, was convicted of involuntary manslaughter last month. During her testimony, she told the jury that she wouldn't have done anything differently. The Crumbleys are the first set of parents to be charged in relation to a mass school shooting committed by a child in the United States.
The Wisconsin Republicans in control of the state Senate fired 8 more appointees by Democratic Governor Tony Evers, including 2 UW regents and 4 judicial watchdogs. Accusations include opposition to a campus diversity deal, lack of commitment to discipline a liberal Supreme Court justice, and violating open records laws on the Domestic Abuse Council. This brings the total to 21 Evers appointees fired since 2019, causing frustration for the governor. Senate Majority Leader LaMahieu defended the decisions, emphasizing the need for qualified and law-abiding appointees. Replacements were promptly announced by Governor Evers for ousted members. And Northern Michigan University has partnered with Bay College to reveal a new Bachelor of Social Work agreement designated in streamlining academic pathways, offering online degree opportunities, and empowering aspiring social workers. NMU President Brock Tessman and Bay College President Narita Hughes have both signed this agreement, confirming a flawless transition between students who've completed an Associates of Art in Social Work at Bay College to continue to a bachelor's degree in social work at Northern. This program is now available online to help students achieve their higher education goals whilst remaining in their hometowns, as the demand for qualified social workers in the UP continues to grow. And a young man who was shot accidentally in the face by a friend back in 2021 has now filed a lawsuit against one of the nation's leading ghost gun kit sellers. In the lawsuit, the teen alleges the seller supplied an underage buyer with the kit used to assemble a firearm. WWJ's Elle Meyer joins from Ann Arbor with a closer look at the lawsuit and what it hopes to accomplish.
All it took was a credit card and the internet, and Guy Boyd's life was changed forever. His friend bought and assembled a ghost gun kit when both boys were 17 years old, creating a firearm that shot Boyd in the face. Well, just this week, Boyd filed a lawsuit against the company that sells that ghost gun kit.
He lived. He has a TBI, he's lost his eye, he's now considered an epileptic, has a lot of memory issues.
Before the shooting, his mom tells me Boyd participated in a lot of activities, from football to swimming to Boy Scouts. All things that fell by the wayside after being shot by a friend who bought the kit through JSD Supply.
At the heart of our case is the simple proposition that unsupervised children should not be able to purchase firearms. But because JSD Supply set up a business model where they didn't do any meaningful verifications about age, criminal history, mental health status, it became very, very easy for a 17-year-old who needed nothing more than a credit card, the internet, and a home address to get a gun shipped directly to his door.
Cam Ding tells me the website from which the ghost gun kit was purchased actively advertises just how easy it is to build a firearm from one of their kits.
In these kits, you had every single thing you needed to build a firearm. And when you purchase these two kits together, ATF has observed that these kits can be assembled in as little as 30 minutes.
Alongside compensation for Guy's medical bills, his mother tells me she would really like to see change in the gun culture in our country.
We need to have reform. And ghost guns, the loophole that they had that, just because they're 80% done, that they weren't considered guns. This is proof that just a couple drill holes and a couple pieces, it's a gun.
Reporting in Ann Arbor, I'm Elle Myers, CBS News, Detroit.
Don't touch that dial. Austin Graham will be right back with your weekend weather forecast. A look to the clouds right after this break.
Season 2 of Maria's Portuguese Table is here. Join me, Maria Lawton, as I explore Portuguese culture through food, history, and heritage. Come discover places near and far, all while savoring delicious bites along the way.
Reminds me of eating dinner at home with my mother.
It really is.
So join us. You will always have a seat at Maria's Portuguese Table.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Austin Graham, and this is your Public Eye weather update. Taking a look across campus here, it's a pretty nice day outside. The sun is out, clear skies. Now taking a look across the UP, first and foremost, it's very sunny all around the UP today. Up in Houghton, it is 51 degrees. Over in Ironwood, it is 53. Down in Iron Mountain, 59. Down in Menominee, 51 and sunny. And if we go across the other side here towards the east side of the UP, if we take a look here at Escanaba, 55 and partly cloudy. Over in Manistee, it is 54 and sunny. Over in the Sioux, 49 and sunny. And back here in our beloved Marquette, 50 degrees and sunny. Now taking a closer look at those conditions, the winds are coming out of the northeast at 10 miles an hour. Our barometric pressure is 29.93 inches and falling. And if we look at tonight, partly cloudy conditions are going to be rolling in with a low of 31. The winds will be coming out of the north-northwest at 10 miles an hour. And then looking at to tomorrow, it's going to be cloudy with a high of 36 and a low of 27 with the winds coming out of the north at 14 miles an hour. And then taking a look the next few days into the weekend, on Friday it is going to be a high of 40, a low of 33 with partly cloudy conditions. Saturday the high will be 42 with a low of 26 with more partly cloudy conditions. And on Sunday we're going to experience some snow showers with a high of 28 and a low of 20. Unfortunately, that's all I have for weather today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for that weather update, Austin. Hopefully there's some more cooler temperatures on the way. In national news, amid rising tensions between the U.S. and China, the House of Representatives has passed a bill that would ban the widely popular social media app TikTok if the Chinese technology firm ByteDance does not sell the app to another company. TikTok has over 150 million users in the United States, roughly half of the country's population, many of whom are small business owners who use the app to market their companies. The bill still needs to go through the Senate and be signed by the president before it becomes law, but President Biden has said that if Congress passes the measure, he will sign it. 15 Republicans opposed the bill, which passed through on a 352-65 vote, with Representative Tom McClintock calling the bill CCP-style oppression in response to CCP-style propaganda. TikTok has denied that it could be used as a tool by the Chinese government and that they have never shared U.S. user data with Chinese authorities. And federal courts have taken action to make it harder to judge shop, or the act of selecting a judge friendly to a particular point of view. The new measure would require judges to be assigned randomly, especially in rural areas where the number of judges is limited. Currently in rural areas, judges are assigned by private or state attorneys. Interest groups have used this method to get lawsuits heard by judges sympathetic to their cause. This has raised concerns from senators after an abortion medicine case in Texas was selected to be heard by Judge Matthew Kaczmarek, who was appointed by former President Trump. The new policy would have cases that only apply to local issues still be heard by local courts, but cases with national or statewide implications would have more scrutiny on judge selection. And this morning, hundreds of American troops are en route from the coast of Virginia to the coast of Gaza, set to build a floating pier to deliver desperately needed humanitarian aid to the millions starving in the war-torn region. All while the tragic news for a family of an American-Israeli soldier. CBS's Jared Hill has more.
As American soldiers load another batch of aid to release over Gaza by air, the military is setting sail with a floating dock to deliver supplies and food by sea, amid fears of famine. This volunteer says there's no food, no drinking water, and no flour, calling on the world to care for the children. The plan is for the army to build a floating dock off the coast of Gaza and a causeway connecting to the shore. Civilian ships would bring aid from Cyprus to that floating dock, where it would be picked up by army boats, ferried to the causeway, and driven ashore, all the while trying to avoid attacks.
We are looking at all the protection capabilities that the Army has and that the joint military has in order to protect all of our assets.
Officials estimate it could take at least 2 months before food actually starts to flow through the maritime system. The assistance to millions in Gaza comes amid tragic news for the family of 19-year-old American-Israeli soldier Itai Hen, long thought to have been taken alive by Hamas. Now Israeli intelligence suggests he was already dead when Hamas kidnapped him during the October 7th attack. In December, CBS News spoke to his parents.
I'm just a mom that wants her son back home.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
This hits hard for us, this news.
Now, 5 Americans are still presumed alive in Gaza amid the 134 hostages it's believed Hamas is holding. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And wait right there. After this short break, Luke will have an NFL free agency update and more in your Public Eye Sports Breakdown.
I'm Samantha Brown. For 20 years, I've been traveling the world. And the biggest lesson I've learned is that every destination, from a big city to a small village, has a soul. And there is an effort that goes into cultivating that soul, and that effort comes from the people. This is why I have a love of travel. And why these are my places to love.
Watch it right here, tonight at 5.
Welcome back to Public Eye Sports. I'm your host, Luke Niddle, and I'll be taking you through our Wednesday breakdown. Starting off with some national news, Iditarod held their annual dog sledding race recently, and what an exciting race it was. Dallas CV took home a record-setting win with a time of 9 days, 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 8 seconds. The come-from-behind win marked CV's 6th championship, doing his best Michael Jordan impression. The dog sledding event takes teams of humans and dogs through 1,000 miles of harsh, rugged Alaskan terrain that runs through 2 mountain ranges and the Yukon River. After a moose attack severely injured one of CV's dogs, his team received a 2-hour penalty after CV only spent 10 minutes gutting the moose. The rebound for a championship is just another milestone in a brilliant career for CV. And moving over to the world of the NFL, big moves are being made by most teams, including the NFC North. Kirk Cousins ended a 6-year stint with the Minnesota Vikings and signed a 4-year, $180 million deal with the Atlanta Falcons. There is still major discourse surrounding the veteran QB, however, as Cousins is coming off a season-ending Achilles tear at 35 years old. Other notable division signees include Vikings edge rusher Danielle Hunter taking his talents to the Texans, former Lions and Eagles running back DeAndre Swift heading to the Bears, and Kevin Byard joining Chicago as well. The NFC North checked in as one of the stronger divisions in football last year and are wasting no time reclaiming that title in 2024. And keeping in the same vein of Chicago, the Bears have announced that they will be providing $2 billion to the construction of a new dome stadium in the south parking lot of Soldier Field in the south side of Chicago. In recent years, the team has extensively spoken of moving into Arlington Heights, a suburb of Chicago, and out of the metro Chicago area. The move out of Soldier Field would mark the end of the longest active stadium in the NFL and the 3rd oldest in the U.S., only beaten by Fenway Park and Wrigley Field. The Bears have played in Soldier Field since 1971, but complaints of a decaying stadium in recent years have sparked the move. That's all I have for sports. Back to the news desk.
Thanks for that sports update, Luke. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. I'm Bradley Seaborg.
And I'm Melissa Santour, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching Public Eye News. You can subscribe to our YouTube, tune in to WNMU Channel 13 every weekday at 4, or follow our Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.